Yes, now, ladies and gentlemen, I just got finished watching Smackdown. Fuck me, they actually need to make Smackdown shorter, like 3 hours is crazy. Like, I can't believe I've sat through 3 hours in one go, but that's like an achievement for me. But damn, damn, got a lot to talk about. A lot to talk about. So, let's talk mid card division. Women's United States Championship division. Chelsea Green still suffering from the loss of her championship. She was using Nick Aldis's office to hold a funeral or a eulogy or a memorial, whatever, for the Women's United States Championship that she lost. Selena Vega comes in with Nick Aldis, and obviously they make fun of her and whatever. And then Chelsea seems to say, "Oh, Selena, you're just mad because you have no girlfriends." Obviously saying you have no friends. Because Caitlin and Katana are gone now. She goes, "Yeah, I do." She goes, "Chelsea, you and Piper in the ring, and then I'll face my tag team. I'll face you with a tag team partner of my choosing." Now, obviously, this meant a surprise opponent, which also meant who could it be? Now, I had my original ideas of Alexa Bliss. I thought I would love that, but it doesn't make sense for Alexa Bliss to be friends with Zelina Vega, given that Alexa Bliss has still got a bit of a creepy gimmick. But then I thought, imagine like this was the way they brought back like Sasha Banks or AJ Lee. Like, imagine. But obviously it wasn't. It was Alexa Bliss, and I was right the first time. I was like, what? Um, I did have a moment where I thought it would be Elektra Lopez because I saw someone online say the reason WWE have given Zelina Vega the United States Championship is because they've just signed with AAA, and I think they want a Mexican or Latina or I don't know champ. And I thought it would now make sense if that was true. It would now make sense that Elektra Lopez, another Mexican, would be the tag partner for Zelina Vega. But it wasn't so. It was even better. We got Alexa Bliss, and she got a loud pop. She got the win. I'm happy Alexa Bliss is still relevant because when I was first getting in WWE, and I was getting into it in 2016, but I was watching all the old stuff. When I started watching the current modern day and keeping up to date with WWE, it was in 2017. Alexa Bliss was running shop in 2017, and in 2018, she was dominant as out. So I remember when Alexa Bliss was on top, so I'm glad to see her still be relevant. As for the United States Championship division, obviously we have this big match at BACKLASH tomorrow. So the show kicked off with LA Knight and Damian Priest tagging against Jacob and Solo. Now, obviously, we know they had a match last week, and they're obviously feuding, but this tag match had to happen. And surprisingly, LA Knight and Damian Priest won by LA Knight pinning Solo clean. Now, obviously, I could tell that was gonna happen, but not clean. Like I thought, like they'd lose the match because of Solo Sikoa, and it would lead to the eventual Solo Sikoa Jacob Fatu fallout. But I didn't expect LA Knight, especially after they took advantage of LA Knight and Damian Priest falling out, and it looked like Solo Sikoa was about to win the match because of it. And LA Knight reversed it, hit a BFT, and won clean. That really surprised me. But after the match, Damian and LA Knight then broke out in a fight, which Jacob Fatu took them both out. And then Drew McIntyre comes in and Claymore kicks at Jacob Fatu and cuts a hell of a promo backstage. He says he's the only one deserving of a shot. He says, why is it LA Knight in the match? LA Knight lost at WrestleMania. He should be at the back of the line. And Damian Priest, Drew says he beat Damian Priest at WrestleMania, and he said he was going to do that. Why is Damian Priest in there? And it's not Drew McIntyre and Jacob Fatu one-on-one. Drew McIntyre says he wants Jacob because he's the toughest man in the locker. Drew says he wants Jacob because he's the toughest man in the locker room, and it should be him versus Jacob one-on-one. And I can't disagree. But that's for somewhere down the line, and it's a shame because Jacob's going to hold that title for a long time, and I'd want to see Drew McIntyre win, and I'd want to see Drew McIntyre take that title. But I guess it's not going to happen anytime soon, which is such a shame. It's a shame you can't have everyone be champion, do you know what I mean? But didn't mind that segment. Street Profits are back after their TLC match 2 weeks ago. Looking banged up. I mean, Montez had his ribs taped up. Dawkins had his shoulder taped up and his knee wrapped. And you'd think they'd get a pop after the amazing match they had 2 weeks ago. Like, crowd was silent. Then Fraxium came out and the crowd was even more silent. Like, what's going on? Why we're being silent? Pay some respect, Fraxium, on the best up-and-coming teams and the best up-and-coming wrestlers in WWE. Street Profits are the champions. They put on a banger like 2 weeks ago. Pay your respects to WWE fans. you're shit. Dayton, Ohio, you're shit. USA, you're shit, to be honest. Like, compare every USA reaction to the reaction anytime WWE goes abroad or goes to a foreign country. England shits on you, France shits on you, Puerto Rico shits on you, and that's not even far from you. You're getting shat on everywhere WWE goes, and it's embarrassing. Fix it. Fix it. And you know your Roman Reigns, and your Cody Rhodes, you know that chant, yeah? Came from England. If it wasn't England, it was a foreign country. It weren't Americans, yeah? But the second you started using it is when that moment happened, when SmackDown was in London and we started the Roman Reigns chant, yeah? Just remember where you got your famous chant from. Not to beef or anything. So yeah, then Fraxium took on an injured Street Profits, which it was very clever of the commentators and for WWE to point out that Street Profits were hurt from 2 weeks ago, because Fraxium got the win in a non-title match, and to beat the champions means you should really be the champions. So to say non-title, they're still injured, it helps the Street Profits keep their credibility while also giving Fraxium some momentum in the tag team division, while also pointing out, well, the Street Profits pointed out that Fraxium have only been here 3 weeks and only won 2 matches. So I didn't mind it. I really didn't mind it. Banger match as well. Banger chemistry. Get those two on a pay-per-view and give them a great match. Can't wait for the day Fraxium are tag team champions, but I'd say wait their turn. Street Profits have got some more cooking to do. God, I feel like I'm missing a lot. Aleister Black finally had his match with Carmelo Hayes. Underwhelming, I will say. But I'm not too mad about it, because he literally just had a match against The Miz last week, cut a little promo tonight, and then had this match with Carmelo Hayes. But it was interrupted as Carmelo ran into The Miz and Aleister won it by roll-up. This tells me they're not done with Aleister and Carmelo. This tells me they're getting another match. Don't know if it's next week, don't know if it's at a pay-per-view. It's going to happen again, so we're going to get that banger. So while I'm mad that it wasn't a banger, I'm not mad because we're going to see it again. It's going to happen again. There's no way it's not. Do you know what I mean? If that was it, then I'm raging. I'm absolutely raging. But Aleister Black with the win. Who can complain? Not me. And Rey Fénix, after he beat Santos Escobar last week, ran into Santos Escobar backstage. Then he says, I just want to tell you one thing. And then those guys jump him and attack him. So it was set up later on the night that Andrade and Rey Fénix have a match against Los Garza. It was a decent match until Santos Escobar accidentally cost Los Garza and then proceeded to get in the ring and then be mad at Humberto Carrillo for getting pinned, despite it being Santos' fault that they lost. So Humberto slapped his hand away, and I'm thinking, this is it. This is when he has enough, and he turns on Santos, but he just walks away. He just walks away, and that's all we get. So maybe next week it'll all kick off. Who knows? We're just, at this point, we're sick of too many talented wrestlers being wasted. Like, every single man in that segment, Andrade, Rey Fénix, Angel Garza, Humberto Carrillo, bring back their full names, by the way, Santos Escobar, all worthy of being champions, some even worthy of being world champions, but the crowd don't appreciate them, and that's not their fault. That's WWE's fault for how they're booking them and how they're booking their characters, you know. But it is what it is. Sad times, I guess. As for the Undisputed WWE Women's Championship, we had the number 1 contenders match tonight, Nia Jax versus Jade Cargill. Before that match happened, Charlotte Flair returned, came out of a limo. I thought it would be John Cena. Charlotte Flair comes out of a limo, goes out to the ring, starts to say, you know, I gave Tiffany a very tough run at WrestleMania, and she looked banged up and she didn't enjoy her time, but I did, and this is how much I enjoyed my time. I'm about to announce how I'm going to go after the WWE Championship once again. But the crowd were just booing her. She was saying, pay me respect. The crowd were just booing her. She throws her mic down, she walks out. I'm thinking, what the fuck was the point in that segment? Then Jade Cargill starts to make her entrance, and I'm like, aha, something's going to happen between Jade and Charlotte. They have a stare down. Jade continues on the ring. Charlotte keeps walking. I'm still thinking, what the fuck was the point? Jade grabs the mic, and then I'm thinking, okay, here it is. Now there'll be a promo battle. Jade just says, hey, Charlotte, before you go, get to the back of the line. Charlotte just walks out, and then Nia Jax comes out for the match. And I'm thinking, what the fuck was the actual point in having Charlotte Flair come out? And just before the match starts, Charlotte Flair's walking out the arena as Nick Aldis is following her. Nick Aldis shouting at her, saying, you can't just quit, you can't just give up. you can't just throw a tantrum because you didn't win and whatever. And Charlotte Flair's going for a limo and says, no, there's no respect. I've done too much for this women's division, too much for this industry. She goes to get in a limo and the door gets slammed shut by Alexa Bliss of all people. And she says, let's talk. So I wonder what's going to happen there. Is Charlotte Flair going to start being a creepy person? Is Alexa Bliss going to turn heel? Or are we going to get some weird lines? Fuck only knows. But I hope something good, because they need something to do with Charlotte Flair, because they've got so used to putting Charlotte Flair in title divisions, in title matches, or being a champion that she can't really do anything else. And it does seem like there's nowhere to go for her. So I hope they do something good for her and Alexa Bliss, because I don't want them to forget about Alexa Bliss and forget who she was 7, 8 years ago. You know, put some respect on her name, you know. So anyway, we had the Women's Championship match, and Naomi attacks Tiffany Stratton and costs Jade Cargill. So now Nia Jax is the #1 contender for the title. But don't get it twisted. Jade Cargill and Naomi are still in that division. Naomi's definitely going to be the next champion, and Jade Cargill's going to be the one to take it off Naomi eventually. But yeah, Nia Jax #1 contender. I'm not mad at this because, like I said a few weeks ago, when Nia Jax re-entered herself into this feud, we did not have closure on that. You know, Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jax were friends, while Nia Jax was champion and queen of the ring, and Tiffany Stratton was Money in the Bank. They were best friends, and Nia Jax was like, you're not going to turn on me. No, I wouldn't. And then eventually one day she turns on her, wins her belt. And I don't even know if we ever got a rematch. We did on Smackdown, but then that was it. There was not a big feud. It was, you know, just completely sweeping the fact that Tiffany Stratton turned on her best friend and took a title under the rug and acting as if Nia Jax doesn't care. So I'm glad Nia Jax has got this opportunity. We can get some closure on it, and they're not just going to leave the feud up in the air and just act like it didn't happen, because it did. So I'm glad that they did that. And another funny thing happened with R-Truth. R-Truth was chanting for Cena backstage randomly before Cena was even ever in the arena. Jimmy Uso comes up to him like, nah bro, Cena sucks. And yeah, R-Truth just continued rooting for him. It's funny how R-Truth is still rooting for his childhood hero, even though he's older than John Cena. They need to do something with R-Truth and Cena. Like, they actually do. That's so, like, missed opportunity if they don't. But finally, Cena comes out, cuts his promo. Now, I like the promo he cut because Randy Orton last week came out to berate Cena and say, hustle, loyalty, respect doesn't match him anymore. And the one thing he would give him was hustle. But loyalty he doesn't have because he turned on Cody, he turned on the fans. And respect he doesn't have because now he wants to ruin wrestling. Cena came out tonight and cut the same promo on Randy, but flipped it and said, Randy is a liar. Randy has no hustle. You know, he thinks because he shows up to work, that's like being loyal. And whatever. I can't recite what John Cena says. There's a reason these guys are the go-to promos. It's because people like me and you can't do these, right? But he basically went through hustle, loyalty, and respect and broke down how Randy isn't what he plays out to be, you know? And he also mentioned Randy has to bring up that he's a third-generation superstar so that people will like him, you know? And then proceeded to go on about his granddad, Bob Orton Sr., who no one remembered. Bob Orton Jr., his dad, who his only success was getting with Randy's mom. And then Randy, who rides John Cena's coattails and the coattails of legends. And he said legend killer is ironic because Randy Orton's final legend that he'll kill is himself tomorrow. And he'll kill the legend of Randy Orton. And also, someone threw a bottle at John Cena, like, fuck you, by the way. John Cena played it off cool. Like, John Cena picked it up, threw it, like, acted as if, like, that's disrespectful of fans and whatever. But, like, genuinely, like, although playing into it is cool, I don't know if he should have, because that, you know, some people are just stupid these days, and they'll just keep doing it. Do you know what I mean? That person didn't deserve attention. I don't imagine it was WWE doing it on purpose. That would be clever, but it seemed like a fan, because a lot of the fans' reactions you saw, they were just like, why the fuck would they do that for, you know? That stuff doesn't happen in WWE. It doesn't even happen anymore in society, you know? But, yeah, what a promo from Cena. I love how they do promo battles. It's so good, man. Randy Orton comes out and cuts a promo on Cena, calls him a hypocrite for all the hustle, loyalty, respect. Cena comes back and uses the argument against Randy. And even mentioned his 2006 drug test failure, which I didn't even know he failed a drug test in 2006, but apparently he did. And he said that's what Randy's going to be tomorrow, a failure. And then a fake Randy Orton, because Cena made us all believe that Randy wasn't there and he was in St. Louis with his family getting ready for Backlash. And then he had a fake Randy Orton come out and try and attack Cena. Cena hit an attitude adjustment, thinking he's done it. And then the actual Randy came out and hit the RKO. Now, all fans have been saying Cena's going to put down Randy in this episode. And just before WrestleMania, the man who gets put down on the final episode before the PLE is the man who actually gets the win. Well, isn't that ironic? Because Randy Orton put down Cena, he RKO'd Cena, and he held up the belt for the second week in a row. I'll be honest, I don't like the current design of the WWE Championship. It doesn't look prestigious. It doesn't look like a WWE Championship. Like, when you think back in the day when Cena and Orton were holding world championships, you looked at it like, oh shit, he's holding the world title. When I hold that, I'm just like, he's holding that modern WWE belt now. It doesn't feel as prestigious. I don't know what it is. I just feel like the gold doesn't fit because it's the same normal black WWE belt that we've always had, and it's just got a bit of gold added to it now. It's so weird. I've still not got used to it really. Cena, really, please bring back the spinner, man. I wish he did that. But yeah, not a bad show. Not a bad show at all. Some decent matches. Definitely wouldn't recommend 3 hours, but I have heard they're going back to 2 hours soon, so that would be good. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Backlash predictions are coming later today. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.